Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Number Corner, day 11. Halfway done with the month. Hopefully, everything's going well for you. Things are going well on this end. I've just been sitting here recording some videos. So, hopefully, your day is full of fun and just a little bit of math. So, let's take a look at what day 11 we have to do, right? Make sure we update our calendar grid. Our calendar grid marker is right here. Make sure you're looking at the width, the length, the width, and the height, and recording that down in cubic units or cubic centimeters. Right. Update your calendar collector. We're adding now 11 days of 3/4 of a dollar and 3/4 of an hour, and figuring out how many of those are in minutes. And then today we're going to do another game of putting it on the line decimals, right? I think our record right now is 1-2, or no, 1-1. I think I won the first game. You all won the second game. So you're going to need your notebooks out, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's take a look at our number line. You are going to have to put that number line on your or in your notebooks, and you're going to have to try to figure out what decimals go where. So go ahead and pause the video, draw your number line out, and fill it in. All right, so hopefully you now started. I'm going to add a little text box here, and we are going to just go right on over the top. So the first thing we should probably consider is how many lines is it between the 0 and the 1. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I was hoping for that. It's nice and easy. So what I'll do is I'm going to change my text color to red because that's a fantastic color. And we need to label that. I'm also going to bold this so that we can see what is what. So this first line would be 0.01. Oops. Let's go ahead and move that back. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move this above the line so that we can all agree that this might be a little bit easier to see. The next one will be 0. Did you figure it out? Nope, not 0.01. Whoa, that's that rare mistake, right? For Mr. Keller, 0.1. And this one is 0.2 and 0.3 and 0.4. And then so on until we get done with our whole number line. Hopefully your number line is set up like mine. If it isn't, let's go ahead and make sure that you have your number line set up the same way. Okay, obviously that's 1.0. We don't need to do that one. What do you think this last one is? Right, 1. Oops. I ran out of space. So we are going to increase that. There's our number line. Beautiful. It's all set. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our X's underneath the number line to show our score, right? I think that's probably the best way to do this, right? All right. So now let's take a look at, let's get rid of that. That's kind of annoying. All right, so you need to decide, since you guys won last time, I'm going to have to go first because, that's only fair. Losers always go first. We'll just make sure that you guys go first next time. Huh? So I'm going to choose this card. Okay. I'm going to move it off over here to the discard pile. And it says, what is 1/2 times 3/5? Go ahead and stop the video and figure it out and come back to us when you're ready. 1/2 times 3/5. What does that equal? Well, knowing that when I multiply across denominators and then across with my denominators, I can go 1 times 3 is 3, and then I copy tenths. There you go. Wasn't a big point score, but it gets me on the board, right? And it puts me where I have at least, I'm going to put a T for teacher here. There you go, right? And I know that 3/10, right, is 0.3. I got to keep my running total because I have to play against you guys. All right, so your chance to go is right down here. We're going to go ahead and put your card over here on this side. And it says, what is 6/10 plus 1/5? Go ahead and stop the video and figure out the answer. All right, so when I take a look at this problem, I have to come up with that there's two ways that I can do this, right? I can reduce my 6/10 to fifths and make it 3/5 plus 1/5, and that would give me 4/5. Or I increase my denominator on my fifths to tenths and make my 1/5 2/10. So now 6/10 plus 2/10 is 8/10, right? Or 0.8, right? Good move. All right, we're going to have to play around with this just a little bit, but I'm going to put you over here, and that is the students. All right, well, you're off to a good start. That's one of the higher cards that we have. All right, so let's move these up just a little bit higher so that we can, there you go. All right, so now next card for Mr. Keller. All right, so I'm going to select this card. Hopefully it's a big one. That way I can kind of get back in. All right, it says the students had objects of masses of 0.96, 0.04, and zero point 0.1 grams. What is the combined mass of all three? So go ahead and figure that one out in your notebooks. I'm going to write the problem down here. All right. And 0.1. Now remember, when we are adding our decimals, right? When we're adding decimals, we line our decimals up so that they line up first. Okay, so put all your decimals straight down in a line and then add your numbers in. If you need to add numerals or numbers so that everything is the same length, we can go 0.96, 0.04, and 0.10, right? But I know that 0.96 plus 0.04 equals 1 whole. And 1 whole plus 0.1 is 1.1. And that puts Mr. Keller on the board with the highest card. Thank you. And I know if you're thinking about my class, they're probably yelling at me because they think I saw this. But I assure you, it was all luck. Teacher. There you go. All right. So your turn. Let's give your card right there. Oh, that's the card that you pick. Your card is 1/2 times 4/5. So go ahead and figure that out in your notebooks, and then pause the video and start up when you're ready. 1/2 times 4/5. Remember, just like in this problem, we were able to multiply our numerators together, then multiply our denominators together, and that would give us a total. So that would be 4/10. And what would that look like as a decimal? 0.4. There you go. So students, you are going to be right there and put you in. Okay. Oh, pretty tight there. It's a pretty tight game. Let's see what else we have. All right, Mr. Keller's turn. I'm going to go this one right below that last one. So usually open 2 cards right in a row. All right, this says, after the party, there was 1/5 of a pan of brownies left. Charles ate half of them. What was left? So 1/2 of 1/5. I think I might be a little disappointed in this one. So 1/2 of 1/5. Now, when we do When we do an of problem, it means multiplication, right? So all I would have to do is multiply 1/2 and 1/5, and that's going to give me my total. Have you figured it out yet? Right, we multiply our numerators, which is 1 times 1, which is 1, and 2 times 5 is 10, and that equals 0.1. So not only did I get the highest card, I got the lowest card as well. So that, I don't know if that's going to help me out, but it's not, well, it's not going to help me. Just try to keep those all lined up. All right, your turn. All right, we're going to let you go pick this card here. And as we pick this card, what is 7.12 minus 6.62? All right, go ahead and stop the video and figure that one out. I'm going to move your problem over here and come on back when you're ready. All right, when I subtract 7.12 from 6.62, what did you get as your answer? Now remember, again, when you are figuring out, when you are adding or subtracting decimals, it is important that we line up our decimals. So this decimal would have to be under here, and then we would write 6.62. And then when we do our subtracting, we're going to have to do a little borrowing. And did you come up with your answer yet? I believe you did. I bet you got 0.5 or 1/2, right? I think that is not good for the killer. We have to then adjust our board so that it's all even. All right. I'm not saying I'm nervous, but I'm not saying it looks good for the killer right now. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at this number. Right. 1/2 times 2/5. So 1/2 of 2/5. Well, I know that 1/2 of 1/5 was not very much. So I am probably thinking that 1/2 of 2/5 is not going to be as big either. So let's do our multiplication problem. Our numerators first. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. So 2/10. What would that look like as a decimal? 0.2, just as it's read, right? All right. Well, I'm not going to do much work if I am getting all of the lower cards. I need you to get a lower card, but there's not many left. All right, your turn. So we'll take this one right here in the middle and see how that goes. All right, we have 3 1/5 minus 2 1/2. Go ahead and stop the video and figure that one out. All right, remember, we're going 3 1/5 minus 2 1/2. What does that equal for you? All right, so we're going to have to change these into improper fractions. I think this is the way to do this, right? So when I multiply 3 times 5 and I add 1, that gives me 16/5. And I'm going to subtract that from what is 2 times 2, right? Because when we're making improper fractions, 2 times 2 plus 1, that gives me 5/2. Now I need to make a common denominator. So we're working in tenths. I would use tenths right away, right? So I have to what do I have to do to the 5 here to make that a 10? I have to multiply it by 2, right? So that means I have to multiply my numerator by 2, and that gives me 32/10. And I'm going to subtract, what do I do to my 2 to get 10? I have to multiply it by 5, so I have to multiply my 5 by 5. That's 25/10. Now I can have an answer. My answer is, what is 32 minus 25? 7/10. Is that what you came up with? Or, when we're doing our decimal, 0.7. Oh, we don't want that. We like it all in one line there. There we go. 0.17. I'm going to say students will go right here. It does not look good for me. My last card needs to be a big one. Needs to be a really big one. I'm going to move this card here. It says, what is 2 times 0.45? 2 times 0.45 or 45 hundredths. And I know that I can do the multiplication, or I can just add 0.45 and 0.45. And I know that that is 0.90. And where does that go on our thing? Okay. Well, this kind of helps, right? It is a big card. Line that back up. One more card for you. Students, what are you doing? Here we go. It says 3 students erased 1/5 of a board. Okay, so how much of the board is erased? So if each student erased 1/5 of a board, well, how much of the board? So that's 3 times 1/5. What does that equal? Well, I know that I can change that to 3/1 times 1/5. And what does that equal? So now I can multiply my numerators 3 and 1 and multiply my denominators 1 and 5, which gives me 3/5. But I can't put 3/5 on I can, but what is that in tenths? So I need to figure out what 3/5 is in tenths. So what am I doing to the 5 to make it a 10? I'm multiplying it by 2. So then I have to go 6 times 2, and my answer is 6/10. Not sure I can get that on the line, but I'll try to make that a little bit bigger. Nope. There we go. 6/10, or what is that as a decimal? Right? It is 0.6. All right. Close game. Good job, kids, students. And now let's figure that out. Let's see who won, right? With a total. Go ahead and pause the video and figure it out and come back. All right. So if I add Mr. Keller's score, I got the 3 lowest totals plus the 3 highest totals. And this gives me a grand whopping total of 2.6. And for you, we got, did you already figure out what the final total was? I'm just using my handy dandy calculator. 0.6. Oh, 3.0. Students winning 1 or 2-1. I have one more game this month to redeem myself. Very close, 2.6 and 3.0. Very close game, but students did pull out again. Congratulations. If you have any questions on math, make sure you email your teachers as soon as possible. And if you don't have any problems, enjoy math.